Question number 1, the perimeter of a rectangle is less than 20 centimeters. The length is at most 2 centimeters greater than the width. The length is greater than 2 centimeters. The width is less than 10 centimeters. A, represent this situation using a system of inequalities. I'm going to draw a rectangle. Length and width, I picked length as being x and width as being y because x is left and right and y is up and down. Really doesn't matter. Like, you could have switched them around. The length is at most 2 centimeters greater than the width. The length is greater. If you made the length equal to y, it works out a little bit easier, but either one will work. If I picked x as the length, then y is the width. I'm going to start with the length is at most 2 centimeters greater than the width. So the length, x, is at most, you're at most 16 years old. Could you be 15? Sure. Could you be 14? Sure. You're less than. But at most means that's the biggest number it's going to be. So you're less than or equal to that. So x is less than or equal to 2 centimeters greater than the width. Greater than what? Put the what first always. Because if it's greater than, it doesn't really matter, the order. But if it's less than, it matters big time. If someone's 2 years younger than you, it's your age. It's you minus 2, not 2 minus your age. Always put the what first, and then 2 centimeters greater than or 2 centimeters less than comes next. And it works out that way always. Put the what first. X is less than or equal to y plus 2. I want to get that y alone, so I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. So I get x minus 2 on the left-hand side is less than or equal to y. And then I'm just going to switch it around. Remember, the alligator is eating the y. So when we switch it around, the alligator still has to be eating the y. We have y is greater than or equal to x minus 2. Next one, let's tackle the perimeter. So the perimeter is going to be the x plus the y plus the x again plus the y. So 2 x's plus 2 y's. And the perimeter is less than 20. Is less than 20. Now I want to get my y's alone, so I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. When I do, I'm going to end up with 20, take away 2x on the right-hand side. I'm going to put the 2x first because we're used to seeing these lines or these inequalities as y is equal to ax plus b. So I'm going to put the x in front of the 20. So we are subtracting 2x from both sides. We end up getting 2y is less than negative 2x plus 20. Then I want to get rid of this 2. It's multiplying the y, so I'm going to divide both sides by y. But when I divide the right-hand side by y, I have to remember to divide every term by y. When you divide both sides by 2, we have to remember that you're dividing each term by 2 over here. So the negative 2 gets divided by 2, and the 20 gets divided by 2, and the 2y gets divided by 2. We end up with y is less than negative x plus 20 divided by 2, 10. Notice when you divide or multiply by a positive number, it does not switch the direction of the sign. 2 is less than 3, but if you multiply both sides by 2, you get 4 is, what's the relationship? To 6. Well, 4 is still less than 6. But if you multiply by a negative, it does switch. If you had 2 is less than 3 and you multiplied that by a negative, by negative 1, let's say, you get negative 2 is what's the relationship with negative 3. Well, negative 2 is bigger than negative. That's why it flips when you multiply or divide by a negative. The length is greater than 2 centimeters. The length is x. X is greater than 2. The width is less than 10. Y is less than 10. I'm going to graph all these. I'm going to start with this one. My b value is negative 2. That's way down here, negative 2. My slope is 1. The numerical coefficient of x is 1, which is 1 over 1. That means a delta x of 1, a delta y of 1. I'm going up like this. So over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1. Let me go through those 2 points. Over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1. It's a solid line because it's greater than or equal to, and we are shading above. I'm going to be shading up like that. 2x plus 2y is less than 20, which gives us y is less than negative x plus 10. So my b value is 10, which is right here, and my slope is negative 1 this time, which is negative 1 over 1. Delta x from here, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1. So my delta y is negative 1. My delta x is positive 1, over 1, down 1. Over 1, down 1. It's dotted because its y is less than negative x plus 10, and because it's less than, we're shading below. Next one, x is greater than 2. Now that's a vertical line. Here's my x is equal to 2. Because it's greater than, it's going to be dotted like that. And x is greater than, I'm going to be looking at the values of x that are greater than 2, which is 3 and 4 and 5. So we're shading this way towards the right. And then y is less than 10. Y equals 10, goes through the b value, goes through 10. And it is a horizontal line. And y is less than 10, it means it's dotted, and we're shading below. I'm thinking this is our polygon of constraints right here. I'm just shading that in. Graphically, represent the solution set of the systems of inequalities. We've done that. C, identify 2 ordered pair solutions for this system of inequalities. Anything inside the yellow will work. Right here, 3 and 6. Just pick another random point inside this polygon of constraints. This one I picked, it's on the line. Because this is a solid line, it's still part of the solution. 5, 3. And that's it for question number 1. Have a good day.